Hello everyone, the 316 Lego Maniac 316, back with another Power Rangers Lightning Collection review on Monday, first Monday of the new year. So I got a new figure. This time it's of the Zeo Yellow Ranger from Zeo. She retailed for $22.99 and was part of Wave 10. Now I don't have any other of the Zeo figures. I bought her mainly because I saw her on shelves, and I have a rule where if it's a team I'm not collecting all of, but I see them on shelves and the figure's in good quality, I'll probably pick it up. And besides, I don't have any other Yellow Rangers, so I thought this would bring a little bit of color to my layout here, as you guys can see. I am filming this ahead of time before the new year begins. I just wanted to get some videos squared away just so I can have some content coming out in the future. Anyway, let's get on to the figure here. Let's start with the accessories. So first of all, we got some extra hands. I'm not entirely sure what they're supposed to be, but I'll put one on her in a little bit here. They're very strange. Again, it might be due to like a pose or something. I'll leave a little blurb in the description if I figure out what those specific hands are supposed to be referencing. Speaking of referencing, where'd the focus go? Goodness, there we go. Sorry about that. She also comes with her signature weapon. She's got both of her like nunchucks. And these are just flexible plastic. Sorry, it's hard to see, but yeah, they're just flexible plastic. They don't pose or anything. They're kind of fun to mess around with. Anyway, she also comes with both of the Zeo weapons. So here we have her sword in extended form. If I can get her to stand. Like I said, sword in extended form. It does not want to focus, but as you can see, it is painted on the handguard there. This is just plastic. It's not painted. It sucks that they don't come in holstered form, but I understand. You know, I'd rather have the signature weapons and the extended form than none. Yeah, we'll get into that. But she also comes with her blaster, which is painted pretty well. And also an effect piece that came with SPD green, although his was in, I think, like a reddish color. This one is in yellow. So there's just a little hole in there and you stick that in. It's a pretty nice little effect. Final accessory, of course, as per usual, you get the civilian head, and they did a fantastic job with this. This looks exactly like the actress for Tanya. They did an excellent job. Like, this looks good. Issue I have, though, with it, it's hard to get onto the actual figure back here, and you'll see why in a minute. Speaking of the figure, first things first. Yeah, she doesn't like to stand. All of the female figures I've had, Rita and SPD Pink, they don't like to stand on their own in like really unique poses. I have to keep them basically standing straight up. Like if I try to splay the legs, yeah, she's just gonna fall. The issue I found is like if you straighten out the legs, she's actually leaning forward. I don't know if that's an ankle problem, but I think the only way to fix that is to like position the knees so that they're not fully lined up with everything, and then she can stand just fine. It still kind of sucks, but you know, understand. Anyway, so we do get some new molds here, obviously. So we get the torso piece, which is also on pink, as well as the forearm pieces, which are on pink. Other than that, the boots here, those are the only molds that are going to be reused. Probably the skirt piece too. I don't have a Zeo Pink in my possession. That's a GameStop exclusive, and I believe it's sold out right now. Could be wrong. Believe it's sold out. Anyway, speaking of new molds, take a look at that head. That's a really good rendition of the helmet. Now, it is a little different on the box. It's actually a bit wider, or rather taller, the black sections. Here they're a little smaller, but they're outlined in white, and it really makes a difference, you know, seeing the other figures that have like a silver-lined visor. Let me grab Dino Thunder Red here, because his is supposed to be white, but you can see the difference. Like this is silver and it's shiny, but this is white and it just stands out how it should. I wish Hasbro would do more white trims on the visors, but it's really weird how consistency is with some of these figures. This one's really good though, consistency-wise, I think. But anyway, she's got a skirt here. This is the only figure I think that I have that has a skirt, but it doesn't really get in the way of articulation, maybe just a little bit. But as you can see, like most figures that have skirts, it's split back here, so it makes it easier to pose. Doesn't go back any, but that's not what I expect. And she can do somewhat splits. I don't want to push it too far. Like this leg goes well, but this one doesn't. You know, you'd think that because this is a thicker piece of plastic over here, it'd be harder to move the leg outward. But no, actually, this one's the side that has the issue. I do have to readjust the skirt piece sometimes, left and right, depending on how I position the legs. Once I put her like on display back here, we'll be using a stand for her because she doesn't want to stand on her own in like a unique pose like that, of course. But see, she just falls over. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and before we get into articulation, I'm going to put on one of those weird looking hands. I'm not entirely sure what it's for, but as you can see, it's almost like a karate chop hand, but it's got the thumb inward and like the first finger inward a little bit as well. You know, or maybe she's like, you know, come closer. It's a really weird hand. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. Again, I'll put something in the description if I figure out what it's for. Alright, let's get onto the weapons real quick to show that she can hold both of them. So there's the sword, and then the pistol. I mean, this is technically like a trigger finger hand. The fingers are separated, but it doesn't look like a trigger finger holding hand. It does take a minute to really finesse the blaster in there, especially with the finger. It doesn't always like to line up, but she can hold both of them. And it looks good. I'm going to go ahead and reholster these because that's how I'm probably going to pose her with her signature weapons. Anyway, I gotta say though, consistency-wise, let me get back to that. The gold is pretty much all the same color, and the yellow is mostly the same color. There are a few areas where I think the yellow is a bit different color. Like this section is just a little too dark compared to the torso here, or even the arm section. This section right here on the forearm, like right above it where the joint is, it's kind of like a brighter color, but like from just a little bit of a distance, it's not that noticeable. And obviously the helmet's a different color, but it has to be because of how shiny it is. Basically all the helmets in this line are shiny because that's how they're supposed to look on camera. Now obviously this sword goes here, but it's not, it's supposed to be the holstered version, but does it bug me? Not really. I mean, it gets somewhat in the way of posability, but because of that split in the skirt, it's not that big a deal. Speaking of posability, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So she's got the pivot and the hinge in the foot. She's got the 360 swivel here. She's got double jointed knees, which go, if I can... Sometimes these newer figures are hard to pose, but that's, yeah, that's as good as it's going to get. It's so weird with that curve. I wish they would change the molding of that piece. I think that's why it's hard to stand these female figures. That and their feet are so damn tiny. Anyway, you guys saw she could do the splits, and there's also a swivel up top there. Oop, spin in the bottom swivel. Alright, she does have an ab crunch and back, and the skirt kind of gets in the way, but she can still do it. Alright, she's got a 360 up here, although it does sound kind of ratcheted. Like a soft ratchet. I was trying to get that on camera. Anyway, she's got the butterfly joint here. She's got hinge up here, which can go up that high, and then it can spin, of course. She does not have dual jointed or double jointed elbows. It's just a single joint and then a bit of a rotation. And then finally, last two things. She's got a swivel here and a hinge depending on which hand you have. And lastly, the head. So the reason why I'm not putting this head on this body is because, listen to this. Actually, you know, it doesn't sound too bad, but hear how creaky that is? I just worried that that's going to break. That's why I haven't put the head on. I did do it once. I do have a picture of it. I'll probably link that in an album in the description as well. If I don't, that's okay. So height-wise, if I can get her to stand, let me get my ruler out here. She stands at just under 6 inches, like really close, like 6 3/4, and she fell. Oops. Alright, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. Again, I don't have any of the Zeo figures, so I'm going to have to use some other figures here. So in an upcoming review, I got Psycho Blue, and he's, I'd say, about the same height. Again, if I can get her to stand properly. There we go. You can also see the size difference between the male body and the female body. And then the other size comparison I really wanted to do is Magna Defender, because if you've read the comics, you'll know they're part of a team, and Magna Defender's tall comparison. So we have 4 of those 6 members of that comic team. I only have these 2. I still need to get Ranger Slayer and In Space Red. But yeah, anyway, that was the review for Wave 11's... Ooh, there goes my ruler. Oh well. That was my review for Wave 11's Power Rangers Lightning Collection Zeo Yellow Ranger. Do I recommend this figure? Yeah, I do. It's really good quality. The paint's really good. I haven't had any issues. Again, the only issues I had is that I wish that the feet were just a touch bigger. They remolded that part that's right above the boot, and they really need to fix that with Yellow Ranger figures. Every Yellow Ranger, as far as I know, has had an issue with the neck joint potentially breaking off. If you want to take the helmet off, I'd recommend a hairdryer or some hot water, and it should come off pretty easy. But again, don't try to force it. If you're going to take the head off or the hands off, you want to spin it and pull as you're spinning it, but not too hard. So that's the easiest way I found to take it off without breaking it. Again, this figure really does stand out on a shelf. Like, the yellow just really pops, and like look at her in the background. She just stands out. I do recommend this figure if you find her in person or if you're collecting the Zeo team. Again, there's some inconsistencies with the team, but not with this figure. So, you know, I don't rank things out of 10, but it's a new year. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. You know what? I think this figure is really good. It's worth the money. I'd recommend it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are gonna have a good new year this time. And well, I got a lot of videos planned for the new year, some more top 10s and whatnot. Again, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment if you want, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when I'm making more of these videos. And of course, thanks for watching. Peace.